Christian, you really seem to have a night tonight. I think about 6 dunks, just really played your height pretty well. And how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I felt good. Just getting out there and making the plays happen. A lot of stuff that we went over in practice and just translating that to the game.
To get off the schneid, like 2 games on the road, like Max said after the last game, like road wins are really hard in this league, but you have to protect the home court.
Yo,
How big for you guys to do that, especially on a night where Hofstra lost, Elon lost, and Wilmington lost.
yeah, it's big to bounce back. I think we had two tough games on the road, both with chances to win it, but we didn't. I didn't play my best at Townsend, so coming back here and getting this win was big. And then stuff happened in the league, so we're in a pretty good spot right now.
What's it mean to you to come through when your fellow 7 footer, got off to a slow start and they called on you?
Yeah, I mean, I think me and Joel complement each other really well. I think we have like a friendly competition between us. Just that's how we are. So I mean, both of us have had our moments throughout the year, so we just keep going off each other.
Jalen, you guys opened up a lead and then they made it close at the end. You wish the team had closed it out better, or what do you think? The final minutes.
I mean, yeah, you always want to do that. I mean, we had some careless turnovers, but also, credit to DJ Smith. He made tough shots, down the stretch. I feel like, we kind of made it tough on him, but he's one hell of a player. And then he made, some tough shots late in the end. But as a coach and Coach Mack, obviously, we had, I think well over like an 8 point lead, and then they cut it short. But I mean, we definitely got to be better in that aspect of the game.
Again, you're down the stretch in clutch time. You're playing really good basketball. Is that just your age and experience, or what kind of is it?
Yeah, fifth year senior. So I mean, I played a lot of basketball from the junior college level, low major, and mid high now. But give credit to my coaching staff and my teammates as well, because they trust me, with the ball in my hand and late, and then also do feel extremely comfortable with the ball in my hands late, and then also, I mean, I got to pass it to somebody, so obviously, they're doing a great job, making shots. But I mean, I definitely feel comfortable with the ball late in the game.
A little tight there right before halftime. Come out of halftime, it was like a whole different ball game. Literally, what was Coach's message at halftime?
I mean, the same message as it's been, all year. I mean, this is the first time that we actually listened to it and applied it. But I mean, the final war and the first war in both halves are, the most important wars, in my opinion. And then this game, we definitely took a, step forward, in that direction. And then we definitely got to continue doing that Saturday.
Christian, what do you think your teammates and you think about, Jalen sort of having the ball in his hands
Yep.
at closing time?
I mean, he's made a lot of big time plays for us down the stretch, and like you guys said, he seems to just flip the switch a little bit more. He's got a different gear kind of that he gets into in the crunch time. So, we trust him with the ball in his hands, and he makes the right plays, and got us to win. So.
And as Scott mentioned, I think all the teams ahead of you lost tonight. So, the conference race for the number 1 seeding, what does all that mean for you guys? You still got more than half of the conference
Yep.
season to go.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can only control the games you play. I know different teams play, either a better schedule or a worse schedule, than us. But we're sitting at 5-2, second in the conference. So we're definitely feeling great. But also, man, we look at it as we could be 7-0. I mean, we came back and lost them 2 in a row that we could have easily won. But we're definitely in a great position. We got to take care of business this Saturday and go 6-2.
Well, we certainly make things interesting. The play down the stretch of DJ Smith was just sensational. He's really difficult to guard. You can tell why he's the league's leading scorer. Doesn't have great size, but really has good pace. Obviously, the ability to shoot it deep, and really, really challenging. But I think that for us anyway, I think the tail of the game is our ability to get the ball in the paint. Christian Reeves, best game by far in a Charleston uniform, probably in a college uniform to be quite honest. And he just he's big down there. I thought he played with confidence. We scored 50 points in the paint as a team, which has to be by far the largest number of points that we scored in the paint. I thought that was the difference of the game. All their bigs were in foul trouble, and We end up shooting 29, I thought, well-earned free throws, and we kept them off the line, which was a big concern going into the game because their guards draw so many fouls. To only put Smith and Johnson on the line 8 times, obviously their big kid going out in the beginning, and hopefully he's okay, hurts them because he's been a really good player for Campbell so far this year.
To come off the heartbreak of Stony Brook and just how tough that was, and to get a good start tonight, I'm assuming that's got to make you happy that it wasn't one of those games where you had to dig out of a hole.
Well, I think anytime you compete for a conference championship, you've got to protect your home turf, and then you got to go on the road and steal some games and gain confidence. And it was a tough weekend for us. It was disappointing. It felt like we were in position to win the Stony Brook game. Our offense was abysmal at Towson, and then they were just really difficult to guard. I think Stony Brook's a better team than their record. But, to come back home, get prepared for a good Campbell team led by their guards, have the emphasis to our team of getting the ball in the paint, using Christian and Joel, our ability to drive, even Colby at times in the paint, and we did that. And so we answered that challenge. You got to be a little bit better down the stretch of keeping that lead, but again, you give other team credit too. They got players out there as well.
What's been sort of your evolution of using Christian and Joel this season?
Yeah, I thought it was really good the first time they went in the game. For a large part of the season, we were hamstrung because we didn't have a third 5. Between Colby and Will going down, if they play together, they're both going to get tired, and then you're playing one of them, even more tired than he should be. So we have that luxury now. I think Will Mortimer will be joining us in practice, still a ways away from playing in games, but really liked what they brought to us in the beginning when they first got in. I thought our 1-3-1 zone was really effective, hard to score around the rim, got some turnovers, and we were equally as good on the offensive end. Second stint with him at the end of the first half, we weren't very good on the offensive end with those two. And, we've got to continue to work through some things, but, man, they're a challenge when you have those two guys in the paint.
Right before halftime, it was starting to get a little dicey. You go into halftime, it comes out, it's like a whole different team. What was your message at halftime to your guys?
Quit turning the ball over. I think, we ended up with, 14 turnovers. I think we had 9 at half, and it seemed like we had 6 in the first 3 minutes of the game.
3 in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, and just some really, really careless turnovers. And, for the most part, outside of William and Mary and Towson, we haven't been a high turnover team. But, sometimes they come in buckets, and they did tonight there in the beginning. And fortunately, we found ourselves a little bit and quit turning the ball over. But that was one of my main messages. Felt like we had to do a little bit better job of having somebody under the basket while their ball screen action was occurring. Thought we did an okay job. Really, I thought we did a pretty decent job defensively until about the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, and it's 2 teams out there, so I don't want to disrespect Campbell because I thought their kids played really hard, but we got to figure out a way to close out games better with senior guards on the floor.
Elon, Hofstra, Wilmington all lost tonight. You guys win. Just a little extra pep to the step, knowing that it's just another step up in the standings.
Everybody's schedule's so different, Scott. Like some teams have already played 4 road games out of 6. Some teams have played a lot of home games. Some teams have played without a break. So I think that'll play itself out. Some teams have played more of the teams at the top of the league standings. So we're so early into it. I just know you have to protect home court. You got to try to go on the road and win those tough ones. And it's tough in this league. I think I haven't been a CAA veteran, but I think it's a better league than it was a year ago. And I think that's showing itself in the teams that have certainly come into TD Arena. So, once we move up in the standings, that's all I'm concerned about.
You mentioned the 1-3-1. Did you throw some different things at DJ Smith?
We tried to. The thing is, they put him in so many ball screens. So your guard, he's fighting over the top. And, we don't have what Christian and Cho present for us offensively and size at the rim. They're not going to be as effective on the perimeter when they have to defend a ball screen. Scholl's a lot more mobile, and he can do it, and he has done it. But that's the challenge. And then we lost him a couple times in transition because we turned the ball over, couldn't get matched up, and he had a few of those in transition. So we put different guys on him. I thought Chad Traylor did a great job on him. I thought Martin presented some size, but he's a good player, and that's why he had 31 tonight. And, hopefully the next time we play him, he's not as effective.
You moved up Saturday's game to noon, is that right?
I didn't, but they did. Yeah. If I'd had my way, we'd have pushed to Sunday or Monday. I like having more rest and more prep time. I'm sure all the CAA coaches do as well, but that's a Joey D decision along with Matt Roberts.
All right.
Joey's in the house.
Yeah, that was coming down the pipe. We sort of knew that was going to happen. So, thanks, guys.